Alrighty, welcome back to another therapy session in the girls' room. So there was something that I mentioned in the last episode that I wanted to kind of transition to because it really just came up. Got some eucalyptus that I'm going to put in my shower while I talk about boys in the bathroom. And so I need a little help along the way because this is what therapy is all about. Providing a safe space to know how we move on and do better. And if I am really the problem, then this is good for that too. Whatever's on my list for the men, I'll say is on the list for myself too, moderately. All right, so let's dive into this list. I'm trying to be as specific as possible also. I've been told that, especially with prayer too, like be precise. There's nothing too big for God. You don't have to be general. You don't have to be vague. What is it that you want? And it's not for me like super random, oh, I want him to have hazel eyes, which is precise and detailed. And maybe that would be nice, I don't know, but that's not exactly the precision I'm talking about. It's just like precise actions that I've noticed that I like during this journey. Oh, I feel like I haven't really straightened my hair in a second. I'll have to do a couple passes. So, one on the list, number one, and this it's not like based off of hierarchy or anything, it's just when it popped into my head, I wrote it down. Not a criminal is number one on the list. Some of these things are givens where it's like, yeah, you don't want your husband to be a criminal in any capacity. I'm not built for that life. I ain't built that way, so I can't do it. Red flag for a hubby. Dating, I don't know, what kind of crime? I saw this Instagram like video and it was just like based off of height, because everyone's thing is like, oh, there is a difference in, 6'1" and 6'4". 6'1", you can get away with a little bit, but with 6'4", just don't show me a rap sheet. It's like, I don't even want somebody that tall. Like, honestly, I feel like 6'2" is my max. Like, I don't want, it's, for what? I'm literally 5'3" and a half. I don't need you to be a full foot taller than me. I honestly never understood why that was such a thing, but whatever. I guess tall kids, for what though? Half of these women that want them don't even do sports. What you want tall kids for? It's weird. Okay, next on the list, because it was top of mind, is opens all of my doors. And this is all to help me and prevent me from choosing the wrong man. Maybe a little superficial moments, because the other list I had were the like value things where it's like, vague adjectives like ambitious and kind and courageous. And of course we want those things. And of course that's still on my list. But let's get into the nitty gritty with this list. Yes, I want you to open my door. Why am I touching a single door handle? I mean, I'm not going to be mad at you per se, but I'm taking note. I'm like, oh, you don't do that? Cool. Like, I want you to just have that natural instinct to make sure that you, like, make a way for me because you want to and you don't want me to have to worry about anything. Matter of fact, to add on to that, if we are at the grocery store or just if I have anything in my car, any bag, I'm gonna need you to do the heavy lifting. Like, fine, if you really can't carry 12 bags yourself, I'll step in because I'm a lady. I have manners. But if it's like 2-3 bags, maybe 4, I'm like, you can struggle. I'm sure you do this yourself anyways at home. If you want to do one load and one trip, you could do that with me. Like, I'll offer, but I want you to say, nah, I got it. Be like, okay, great. Simple things, not crazy, not asking for a lot. Oof, I need to wear gloves. I'm over here burning myself. Next on the list I have is walks on the street side. So if we're walking on the sidewalk, you make sure that you're on the side of the street, which a lot of people do. Like, even my male friends, for the most part, will walk on that side because anything can happen. You don't want to be a victim to whatever happens on the street, whether it's a puddle of water, violent activity, because the streets are literally not safe, especially in Hollywood. A car, whatever, like, be on that side. And if you see some crazy stuff happening, which is why I put on the list, because it has happened recently where he would move based off of danger, I guess, or it's like if there's and not to call like all homeless people dangerous or homeless people in general dangerous, but where I'm at, there's just a lot of people on drugs or a lot of zombies. There's just a lot of action and activity going on. So based off of that, he'd move. It's like, okay, if there is some crazy stuff happening on the street next to the wall, he's moving this way. And then once we pass that, moving back to the street. And I'm like, oh, I like the little shuffle. I feel like you're paying attention, so I don't have to. Love it. But next on the list, someone who does, and this is marriage, someone who doesn't let me pay when he's around for anything, even if it's not something that we're doing together. If I'm shopping and I need something real quick, let's say I need to get some socks really quick from Target, I don't know, ran out of socks, and you're there, I want you, best case scenario, this is me shooting, this list is me shooting for a marriage. I want you to not let me pay for that. It's like, come on, they're socks, maybe a vinyl record, whatever Target got. I want you to not even, because that to me signals that you're looking for something serious too, and preparing to be a provider or naturally a provider. Now, if we're, I just bring you with me because I need to get a new car, I'm not gonna expect you or take points on or off if you just decide I'm gonna buy your car. I mean, okay, obviously those are major points, but I would question. I'd be like, it's gonna be in my name though, right? All cash. I'd be like, okay, we're getting married tomorrow. That would be great. But like small stuff, I don't want you to even let me pay for it, or at least offer. And even a bigger plus, if you don't let me pay for something when you're not around. Say we're on the phone and I'm like, yeah, I just need to pick up some stuff, or I need to like get my nails done, get my hair done, and you just shoot me some money. You have me. Like, I feel like the cheat code is just provide. Like, I think women are very easy. I think we're very easy. Like y'all should know what it takes. You can definitely get us if you want. Now I understand everybody's not in the best financial state to just, support yourself and someone you're dating. I get that, especially if it's like someone that you're not exclusive with. You might not feel super inclined if you don't have it like that to just be like, oh, let me send you a couple $100, because it's expensive being a woman. It really is. Like all the maintenance. But yeah, that would be just so freaking nice if I don't have to ever go in my wallet next to you for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily just have to be food. Like, yeah, you can pay for food and stuff because we're like eating together, but it means more when it's not just like the typical and the standard. Another thing on the list, likes to see me and talk to me often. I think that's kind of a given. Like, if you don't want to hang out ever, and you don't talk to me, you don't call me, you don't text me, nothing, you're not making plans, yeah, no. You're too busy working? No. Because that's what you're going to do to our kids. You're going to, ignore them. Can't have that. Next. Ooh, big one. Has no problem waiting for sex. Now when we're married, that's one thing. But just like the dating beforehand, because, you gotta have the discipline if you're gonna be dealing with me. It shouldn't even be that complicated, to be honest. I just find it, maybe a little more challenging now because nobody's really, people are abstinent, but it's uncommon, especially among men, and especially when you don't have to be. Like, for men, it really is. I mean, obviously, like women too, it's a, very conscious decision, but I don't know that many men that are really excited about being abstinent or even willing to be. It's like, why would I have to be? I could find a really good girl that's gonna have sex with me. And yeah, we'll be together, we'll do all the things, blah, blah, blah. So that's a biggie. Another big one is gives me a sense of peace, security, and allows me to just like be vulnerable and feel safe, especially as it relates to like emotionally opening up. I feel like in the past I've always had to kind of wear this tough exterior, and maybe it's something that I've just done to myself that I haven't necessarily had to do, but I'm noticing that it really just takes someone that you feel comfortable and, safe with to open up. I'm like, oh, who knew I could really open up and be vulnerable? That's crazy. And like, thank you for allowing me that space. Like, that is something else. It's very nice. Let's see. Ooh, has a good job or multiple. Because if we're going to do this whole life thing together, I need something from you. I need you to at least have what I have. If I can find a job and I can find work and all that, so can you. Now, obviously, if you're just like going through a rough patch and something, crazy has happened, that's a conversation. But I want you to be, like, I want my husband to be a hustler. Because I want that energy around me so that I'm more inclined to be as well. Next. Isn't overly active on social media unless he's making money from it. I just feel like social media, you know, not to say it's a place for women, but kinda. Like, I don't want you to just be posting too much or on it too much, because it's a distraction. It's a distraction from what you have going on, and it's so addicting. Like, I have to get on and off of it, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this, but then I, add it for date IRL, and I get stuck on it, and I'm like, why am I doom scrolling? So, like, I know, and we all know the dangers of social media probably firsthand. So unless you're like actually making money from it, and that's like one of your sources of income, and it's not some like cringy thing, which I would have to figure out what's cringy and figure out what's overly active. Like, it can be okay, you just checking in on people, catching up, but yeah, overly active where you're doom scrolling and you're like passing on that negative energy and anxiety from social media to me is gonna be a problem. Or you're like super vain and into yourself because of it, it's a problem. And I don't want it. Personal preference. Okay, next on the list. Expresses himself well. Please don't leave me guessing. I can't read your mind and I won't. I already have problems with communicating, so you're gonna have to bring it. No, but these are things I'm working on before I get married, so you can do the same. If you have something to say, like, I'd rather just communicate, even if it's something I don't want to hear. Give me the opportunity. Like, give me the opportunity to really make a decision with the facts. So, I think I'm gonna put this list next to every guy I date and just like check off those boxes. Is he hitting this? Is he hitting that? Cool, great, whatever. Next on the list. Oh, wants to get married in general. Like, doesn't have to be to me because, well, yeah, obviously, if this is marriage, but I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, wants to get married and wants to have kids. I cannot be with somebody that's on the fence about it. I want you to have excitement, because if you're on the fence, I just feel like we might butt heads at some point. So it'll be like, oh, I'm not ready to have kids right now because we're not where we are financially, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns into 10 years. And I'm like, you said you wanted, you were down to have kids. It's like, I am down, but like, if we don't have them, I'm fine. If we do, it's a non-negotiable for me. We're having children. We're getting married. Like, I'm getting married. So if that's something that you don't know, then you could not know over there somewhere. I don't want to convince you. And I've been on dates with people where it's just like, I don't really believe in the construct of marriage. Just sounded stupid. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I'm not about to argue with you. I don't want to convince you of anything, sir. And the last thing on the list for tonight is not an addict. Drugs, alcohol, gambling, anything. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. You need to kick that, because porn, another thing a lot of people are addicted to now. Actually, I don't even want you to watch porn at all. I'm not okay with that. I don't want you to go to the strip club. I think that's such a slippery slope. I don't want you to just have lust for women like that. It's just a personal thing of mine, I guess. It's just not for me. It's just not for me at all. Actually, I lied. Not the last thing on the list for tonight. The last thing, which is really saving the best for last, is believes in God. That is the number one non-negotiable. Agnostic, atheist, you just confused to me, and I am just never going to waver on that. I've kind of been back and forth with it because I've heard, testimonies and stories from people that married someone that didn't believe in God and then they came to God, but I don't know the full story there. It's like, did you believe in God when you first married? Like, I just feel like that's a uphill battle that I don't want to fight. We just would not see eye to eye on a lot of things. Like, the reason why we look at things a certain way and what we want to do, to me, a lot of it is based off of my faith. And even if I'm, not always practicing, the best Christian values, that's always in my heart. And it's something that I want to be better at. So I need you to want to be better too and really want to grow there spiritually. If we are to be married. And I totally understand that there is this thing called church hurt. I feel like we've all kind of experienced, like a lot of us who grew up in the church, a lot of black folk in particular, grew up in the church and had some like unsavory experience. And so now a little jaded, like I actually understand that on, a personal level. So I get it, but be out of it, please. So until next time, I will see you back for another therapy session in the girls' room.